Hey everybody, welcome to the Tarbus. I'm sorry to get this out so late, or I guess at this point so early. This will probably actually be the late, early show. And I blame Canada. Yes, I was having a Zoom video with a gentleman up in Canada, and it just took forever because we were having such a great time. And I do apologize for getting this thing out so late/early. So, off to what we got done today. I'm not going to name names, John Kitt. That is the reason that I am so tardy with this. So, we got a lot of vehicles done for the diorama. And, you know, originally the diorama was going to be all about the vehicles with the people as a sort of an ancillary thing, just sort of set dressing, if you will. But as I got more and more into it and started painting the characters, every character, as I mentioned earlier, they kind of developed their own story, and now the characters have become the main thing and the vehicles have become secondary. I am waiting for another truck to show up, and at first I thought maybe I had enough vehicles where we're good to go, but I realized that some more vehicles actually for other things I want to do would be a nice touch. I'm adding the helicopter, the H-19, which is period correct, but the reason for adding that, well, I'll get into that when you see the diorama. This whole thing started off as a little bit of a lark, but it's kind of matured into a real plan, and I'm planning to make it a little more than I had initially intended, and it's going to be great. I think you're going to like it. I'm planning 4 separate scenarios, and I think you guys will like it when I'm done, but it's going to take a little while, but then good things usually do. So that's really about all I have for tonight. I did find a couple of pilots for the Eurofighter finally, and apparently some viewers were, how should I put it, almost stroke-ridden by the idea of it being Luftwaffe. They really felt it should be Royal Air Force, so I've decided to make it an RAF night fighter. Okay, everybody happy? Because that's what this channel is about. So, still a lot of ways to go on that, but it's going to look awesome. And so is the diorama. I have a couple of other kits that I had opened up primarily just to search for some parts for some other stuff, but you know, once you open them you got to build them. So tomorrow I think I'll be putting together a couple of these little Starfix kits, and that's pretty much all I got. I got some stuff to some honeydews to do tomorrow, so when I get to this I'll get to it, but that's about it. Most of the vehicles are done, waiting on another truck to show up. Oh, there is one thing. The turns out about, oh gosh, over 10 years ago, I built this lacrosse missile truck, which is the same M35 as truck as came in the other box, the same scale and everything. So I'm going to work that in the diorama also. I've actually already figured out how it's going to be part of the story. So that'll add a little, kind of flesh out the story a little more, but it's really coming together, and the symmetry of this whole thing has been beautiful. One of the things that I found really interesting was, and I've talked before about the symmetry of the modeling universe. I got an email from TD, Tom Daniel, and this story I have got to tell. I had never built Tom's designs, TD's designs when I was a kid. I was always like, oh, that's a cool looking vehicle, but I was always the airplane guy, right? Well, turns out I had built a Tom Daniel influenced kit and never known it. TD told me that in an email today that amongst the many other things he did, that besides the kits he designed, he also had impact on other kits that were made. And when Monogram first made their lunar lander, lunar module, kit with the moon base plate. They felt something was missing. They shot the whole thing in white, and there was something about this that lacked a certain pop, a certain appeal. And they had Tom take a look at it, and he looked at it, and having that critical eye, he said, well, you know, if you were to mark out the area where the shadow should be, that would make it stand out more. I literally have that model and diorama by my bed. That's how important all this is to me, the space program and all that. That etched out area for the shadow is a Tom Daniel influence. So I had a Tom Daniel influence kit for years and didn't even know it. And to put icing on the cake, I was downloading pictures that were sent to me for viewer builds. And this picture is the one I downloaded just before I read that email. I love the symmetry of the model making universe. You cannot make that up. Okay, come on. You gotta admit, that's an oh wow moment. Right? I love it. This just never gets old. Guys, I'm Max of Max's Models. Model on.